Hello folks, this time I thought I'd like to talk about things just from off the hip today. I haven't really got any ideas down. Just thought I'd talk to you just as it comes to me today, because I've been going through a bad time this week. I've had a bit of depression, a bit of sadness, and it's just good to share things like that. I'm quite a outgoing person and I like to have a laugh and enjoy things, but I do get depressed and I do get upset about things, and sometimes it's nice just to talk about things like that and get it off your chest and find that you've got the same feelings as a lot of other people. So, is it bad to feel down every once in a while? Is it bad to feel depressed? Well, some people would say depression is always bad. Some people would say that you should always be upbeat and happy. But I don't think that's really quite realistic, in my opinion. I don't think we're always going to be happy. Sometimes we're going to have things that are going to upset us and are going to cause us distress. And we've got to deal with them. That's the same for everybody on the planet, not just for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. So how am I coping? Well, you take it day by day. You remind yourself that there are many good things in your life. There are many good things in my life that I'm very, very grateful for, and I'm sure there are things in your life that you're very grateful for as well. There's some things that we need to work on as people, things that I need to work on, and that's an ongoing process. And so really the root of all this is, how does one continue in a correct course? I like to think of it almost like these evangelical tent churches they used to have in the south. Everyone used to roll into town and have a holy roly, great old song and dance and clapping, and I feel the Lord. And then you still got to carry on. Every day after that tent has long gone to the next town, the next state, you've got to think, how do I continue? Well, you're not going to stay at that ecstatic level, are you? Maybe you will, in which case, more power to you. But most of us won't stay at that ecstatic level continually. I don't think perhaps it's that healthy, to be honest with you. So how do we cope every day? Because these things that happen to us still happen to us, didn't they? We're still feeling the repercussions of those things. We don't have time machines. We can't go back and fix things. We can't go back and change things. We can't go back and take opportunities that we didn't take. That's all impossible. So we are going to have regrets. We are going to have doubts. We are going to have all these things. It's natural. We're human beings. We rattle about in our heads. We have these amazing brains. And a lot of the time we seem to spend a lot of time thinking about ourselves. Whether that's good or bad, I leave that to you. But how do we continue? How do I continue with the progress that I've made? Despite frustrations, despite setbacks, despite knowing that even if I achieve everything I wanted to achieve, it still will not be what I could have had. And that's a fact. And it has to be faced. We may well never be what we could have been, but we still can be something. We can still have a good life, and I believe that my life is still going to be a good life. I believe that I can trust in other people. I believe that I am loved and that I am liked, because I am lovable and I am likeable. And that's a comfort. So how do we continue even when we have a bad day like I've been having? Well, I can only say how I continue, and that is one breath at a time. I live through whatever I'm going through. And I do that by remembering that I won't always be happy, but neither will I always be unhappy. I'll probably be a lot better tomorrow, and if I'm not, then I will continue to live through it. Remind myself of all the good things that I have, of all the good qualities that I have, of all the gifts that I have. And that is a way that I continue, even when I have a bad day like today. So I thought that would be helpful to talk about. I mean, perhaps you could comment below on how you cope with the everyday, how you cope with the days when it's not all fantastic, when it's not all going well, or even if it is going well, dealing with the patience issue. I'm not a particularly patient person. That's why I made the video about it. These are self-help videos to a great extent. So I apply those things. I talk about them and I think about them and I think, yeah, that was a pretty good idea. I'll do that. But it is tough continuing on every day, because we did have an out, didn't we, folks? We had an out. We didn't have to spend the rest of our lives buzzing around in our brains, doubting ourselves and worrying about things and all that kind of stuff, because 5 minutes down the road was going to be the Great Tribulation, and then about 2.5 minutes after that was going to be Armageddon, and 3 hours after that everything was going to be great. So we didn't have to think, oh wow, I've got decades in my own head. Now that's a great thing. Decades to find out who you are, decades to find out things about the world. These are good things. But if you've come out of a cult where, as I say, just down the road everything's going to get fixed and your life's going to be transformed, well, that's not going to happen, folks. So we are stuck with ourselves for the rest of our lives, and that's a great thing. It's not a sentence, it's not a punishment, it's a gift. So whatever time we have, whatever period of our life we're in, enjoy that life, because there will be many things in your life that are wonderful and that are joyful. And so enjoy those moments, embrace them, because even if they're fleeting, they're still wonderful and beautiful. So I'm feeling actually a bit better for talking about this, actually. I hope that this video has been of help to everybody out there. There's so many new YouTubers, have you noticed, folks? Isn't that amazing? It's really, really great. I was going to do a shout out, but I didn't have the energy to write people's names down today, so I am sorry. But the next video I do, I will do some more shout outs for the newbies out there. Been a newbie myself, only been on a couple of months, I guess, by now. So I'd like to thank all of my subscribers. Thank you very much for subscribing, that's really kind. Especially I'd like to thank all of my commenters. I read every comment, I normally reply to every comment, and I find them really encouraging. So if you'd like to, I'm not putting any pressure on you, but if you'd like to, and if you feel you could, I would really appreciate some comments. I really do find them encouraging. It's nice to get a different slant on what I've said, and it's nice to be appreciated as well. So that's about all I think I'm going to say today. So peace be with you. Excelsior.